This is AP Precalculus. We are on the review for the AP test known as 3-peat. We are on activity J. This is calculator active. You should be still doing this entire worksheet in about 6.5 minutes. In number 1, we have our function, and we're looking to see what's happening on the interval between negative 0.75 to 0.75. If we just graph this thing, we can tell which of these things it is. So if I'm going to my y equal to button, and I'm going to type in 2.2 x to the power of 3, then move down so I can enter minus 5.5 x, then minus 4. So I have my equation ready to go. I'm going to my window key, and I'm going to type in, I'm going to clear and type in negative 0.75, and I'm going to go down, clear, and go to 0.75. I'm going to hit zoom 0 so we can see this thing zoomed in as well as it can. All right, well, clearly my function is going down. I mean, just look at this function. I don't mean to actually write in this thing, but it clearly is going down, down, down. So it is decreasing, so we can underline decreasing over here. Decreasing is indeed correct, so it's not C, it's not A. Is it negative or is it positive? I can't tell where the y, or so the x-axis is. Are the y-coordinates positive or negative? If I go to my window key, I can see that my y min here is a negative and my y max is also a negative, which means I'm really negative. I can actually come down and I can change this so that the y max goes up to, like, I don't know, just 1 or something. So I'm going to come up here and I can clear this. I can hit 1 and graph this thing again. And you can see, well, there's the x-axis. This is clearly on the bottom half of the x-axis. Therefore, this is a negative function. So negative being this keyword right here. And therefore, the correct answer is D. All right, in number 2, we have these 2 log functions, and we're trying to find a 0 of the function where we subtract these 2 functions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter this equation into my y1, this equation in my y2. I'm going to have a new equation, and y3 is going to be my h of x, and I'm going to subtract my functions. Let's see how I do this with the calculator. Let's go to the y equals. Let's clear everything out of here. I'm going to type in log, and then you can't do base 6 on the calculator over here. So if I don't have base 6, then I'll show you a trick. So this is one of those things that you should really know about logarithms. If I want to do log base 6 of x, this is the same thing as, you can choose any base. I'm just going to use base e, so natural log ln of x, all divided by the ln of 6. I don't think it really matters that much, but that's how I would type that in. So if I'm zooming back out here, I'm going to say, I'll do ln on this case. So I'll say natural log of 3.1x minus 1. And then that, to be base x, I'm going to divide that by natural log of 6. Okay, so there's my first function. My second function down here is going to be 1 minus, and then 2.5 natural log of 2.4x minus 1. And that natural logarithm right there needs to be divided by the natural log of 6 to make it base 6, so natural log of 6. So I have my 2 functions, and I need to subtract them from my new function. So my y3 is going to be my my y1 function minus my y2 function. So I'm going to hit alpha trace y1 minus alpha trace, can I just hit 2? Yes, I can. And I don't want to graph my y2 or my y1, so I'm going to hit enter above the equal to sign, enter. So it's only going to graph y3 now. What is my window now? Well, I'm looking at all the multiple choice answers, and all of these numbers are less than 2. So if I just come up here and I go to my window, and I'm going to clear this and put a 0, I'm going to come down here and say these all go to 2, and I'm going to hit zoom 0 to zoom to fit. Let's see what we have. Go, calculator, go. There it is, and we're looking for a 0. So a 0 is another way of saying an x-intercept. So the x-intercept is clearly a little bit after 1, so that's probably going to be either C or D. I'm leaning towards C just by eyeballing it, but we can actually calculate what that is. If I go to second trace, please, and I come down here to a 0, if I just type in a 2, it's saying, okay, where would you like your left boundary to be? I'm just going to be lazy, and I'm going to type in 0.5, enter. And where would you like the right boundary to be? I'm going to say like 1.5, enter. And what's my guess? You can use the arrow keys if you want. I'm just going to type in 1 and call it good. And it says, okay, well, 1 was a good guess. It was actually 1.037. And hey, look at that. 1.037 is option C. Option C is correct. What about number 3? Number 3, we have a sine function. We need a sinusoidal regression here. and using 7. So I'm going to have to enter all this data into a table. So I'm going to come over to my calculator, stat edit. If you have tables in here, you can clear your calculator. The fastest way to clear your calculator, which clears all of your programs and completely resets the calculator, I do it pretty often, is second plus 7, 1, 2, and that resets everything. And then you'll have all of your tables nice and clear in here. So I'm going to enter 0, 2, 5, 9, and 11. And then I'm going to come up here and say 2, 3.8, 7.2, 2.5, and 4.1. Okay, so I have all of my data entered, and from here I need to use a sinusoidal regression. So I go to stat, go to the right to calculate, and a sinusoidal regression I think is option 0 maybe? No, that's exponential. Sine regression is C. I'm just gonna hit enter, and I don't care how many iterations, it's probably gonna be roughly the same. I'm gonna store the equation in my alpha trace y1, hit enter, and it's doing the sinusoidal regression. There it is. And now if I come here to my y equals, it sees, okay, there is my equation stored out of here. So I'm going to now use that. I'm going to say alpha trace y1 of 7 in this case, because it's asking for 7. So I'm going to come over to the calculator, type in a 7, and hit enter. And there it is, 4.62-ish rounded. Oh, 4.62-ish rounded. That's going to be option B. Awesome. Well, that concludes our worksheet J for our 3-peat activities. Thank you for watching.